Hello everybody and welcome back to Germany in our random Hearts of Iron map. We still have not been able to attack the United Kingdom, and in response to our threatening maneuvers, the United Kingdom has made a puppet state of the Juliana Republic. There is now an autonomous region, basically. I doubt they have any real forces. I wonder if Bolivia is also a puppet state. It's a puppet of Sweden. Sweden decided that they didn't want this little section of land, so they spat out Bolivia. It's interesting how they do that. I mean, we can do that too in our politics screen. We can just make a puppet. Like, we can make the Philippines and they'd receive 3 provinces. We can do a whole bunch of little insignificant puppets, but why? You know, why in the world would we want to do that? I have no idea. I mean, maybe they would be, No, there's really no reason. Absolutely no reason for us to be doing that. Oh well, at this point, we can declare war on the United Kingdom in just a few months. Our neutrality is currently just under 29, and it needs to be just under 27. Both of those numbers will trend towards each other, so we're really not that far away. Can we declare war on the puppet? No. Yeah, because we haven't been raising the puppet's threat. The puppet is actually further away. Which is unfortunate. We are being threatened to our south and east by our border with Alaska. Now, one good thing about this is that Alaska is the head of the Communist International. We can actually declare war on them because they're threatening to us, because they've lined all their troops up on our border. They threaten us. Our population would accept war with them. I don't think that's a good first move. I think we're strong enough to take them, but that would delay our expansion in other directions. I do think we want to, at the very least, make our border much shorter than this. If we can just focus on needing to defend this rather than all of this, I think that would be really, really good for us. And then I want to attack up north into Sweden, at the very least, so that we can retake all of our cores along here. This would be a much easier front to defend rather than this nonsense. But we'll see. We'll see what actually happens. Maybe we'll declare war on them and then make them a puppet state. We can actually have a useful puppet state instead of one of these stupid 5-province miners with absolutely no industrial capacity or resources. But oh well, it's not really gonna affect us in any way. We're just gonna steamroll over them anyway. We are currently waiting on our Navy to be built. We are building tank destroyers to replace our armored vehicles. We have our Air Force being fleshed out a little bit, and we are building more of our motorized armored corps to flesh out the Second Army over here. Second Army has 4 corps of infantry, and First Army has 4 corps of infantry, 1 armored corps. So we want to get 2 armored corps, one in each army. And then we might start on a new Third Army. We'll see. We'll see what we need. We might actually want to focus on some actual defense down here because this is a little bit exposed. But at the same time, it's really not necessary for our country to own that province down there. It's really almost not worth it. But we'll let the game go. We'll see what happens. More industrial efficiency. Is that inefficient? It is. So we need to actually choose something new to research instead of these, which is fine. This would be inefficient. We're doing okay on all of this stuff. We can't do this yet. How about we get this just because it's a 1936 tech? I know we won't be able to build radar stations for a bit, but here in 2 months we'll actually be able to shift some research over here, and that won't be inefficient at all. In the meantime, let's start focusing on education, get some more leadership points. I think it'll be just fine. So yeah, at this point we're basically just waiting for these numbers to trend closer together. Our neutrality is going down, and the threat that the United Kingdom presents to us is going up, albeit slowly. What do our spies look like? No, we're doing just fine over there, doing just fine over here and over here. So yeah, we just need to wait a little bit longer. And then we will actually be able to declare war on the United Kingdom. To that end, I think soon we're going to want to mobilize for war. Better light tanks, better artillery carriage, and sights. Okay, so this is now inefficient research. Not going to worry about anti-aircraft. This would be inefficient research. So let's, I guess, dump it back over here. Yeah, I think that should be okay. So right now the only inefficient research we're doing is the small fuel tank for our fighter aircraft, which is fine. That's really the only thing we can conceivably do with any sort of efficiency at all, and it won't be inefficient research for too much longer. It'll only be 1 year ahead of time in just a year. So I think that'll be just fine. We are going to mobilize. It says right here that we'll need 113.5 manpower to fully mobilize our reserve divisions, which is just fine. That will mean that we are spending significantly more on consumer goods, and that number will go up as we deploy more and more troops to the front line. And tomorrow our reinforcement requirement will go up as well, and probably our supply requirement will go up. You are given this little tooltip. Mobilization is costly because we are spending more on consumer goods and more on reinforcement and more on upgrades, and all of that is stuff that we could be using for our production. So this will slow down our multi-role fighters and our armored divisions. Yeah, you can see that we're not able to build everything at full capacity, but I think it is important that our troops are able to adequately fight. This will increase their strength up to their maximum and their organization all the way as well. Light tank engine advance, which lets us actually research medium tank brigades. I think we will continue to research all of these, at least for now, because we don't have any medium tanks. We might as well have the best light tanks we possibly can, but we are going to prioritize this. I'm not going to wait for it to move up in the queue. I want it done as soon as possible, and we can get it in June of next year, which is acceptable. It's not the best, but it's acceptable. That it does mean that we need even more industrial capacity invested in our upgrades, which is unfortunate. But okay, we can now declare war, probably because we mobilized our troops. Our threat to them has gone up significantly, which brought those two numbers even closer together. But I'm going to wait until we're fully mobilized. Yeah, I'm going to wait till we're fully mobilized. I'm going to wait until we don't need any more IC to be spent on our reinforcement, and you will see this supply requirement continuing to tick upwards. We do have a significant backlog of supplies and a decent amount of fuel as well. Maybe I was worrying too much about our oil situation, but I still think that that's going to be our limiting factor. Yeah, and it looks like we're almost ready. Yeah, there's supplies ticking upwards again. We're almost ready. We're almost fully deployed. Our reserve troops are almost 100% strength. Another day. More reinforcements, more supplies. Another day. Less reinforcements. More supplies. There we go. Alright, I think this is it. We're going to drive our... Looks like they evacuated this province. They're not having an infantry. Looks like they took most of their men off of our line, actually. I wonder if they were planning on invading communist China. And maybe we beat them to it. But we're going to stick to our original plan. Once again, we're going to have the 2nd Corps over here taking and holding Ivanovo. We're going to have the 4th Corps over here moving up and taking Taldum and Dimitrov. We're going to have the 1st Corps and the 1st Armored Corps pushing across here and eventually moving up this way. We're going to need to take something of the Juliana Republic to force them to surrender, which is weird. They don't even have any victory provinces, so we may just need to completely full annex them. Maybe just taking the capital will be worth it. But then we're going to need to move into Yartsevo. We deployed enough troops that I don't think we necessarily need to worry about just countering the enemy and moving in from the north. We're going to have these guys just swing north after they complete the breakthrough. And these guys will be, moving north as well. These guys' job is only to take Niz, which is our oil province, and then move up to counter any movements up here to defend the province of Lemma. And then these guys, hopefully, as when we finish this war, we'll be able to swing back down here and put troops on our Alaskan border. Maybe convince Alaska to go pick on somebody who's a little bit weaker than us. So let's slow down the game and send the official declaration of war. And our goal will be to conquer these different casus belli. The reasons for declaring war are fairly self-explanatory. If you do the acquire territory, you need to choose an area that you're going to attack over, and then you'll only get those provinces. Retake our cores would allow us to retake all of the provinces that they own that we have cores on, which really isn't worth it for us because it would still leave the United Kingdom with this province, which does actually have metal in it, which is kind of nice. But it wouldn't result in the complete destruction of the United Kingdom. They'd still exist as a one province minor right here. So that's not our goal in the war either. We could install a government like our own in this country. We could kick out the Communist Party and install a Democratic Party as the leader of this country, or we could force them to basically be our vassal. We could force them to be a puppet state of ours. I honestly think that conquer is going to be the best move for us in this situation. The second we declare war, we will have the ability to change our laws around. We can change our press laws. So instead of free press, which gives us more national unity changes, which is this number up here, and less counter-espionage, we can change it to censored press, which is fantastic. That means that our spies will perform better. But the second that we finish this war, we're going to lose the censored press. We're going to lose this. So you need to be aware of that. Don't count on having these laws for the rest of the game just because you were able to enact them. This is a wartime thing only. We're also able to shift from our industrial policy from consumer product orientation, which gives us significantly reduced descent change and reduced consumer good need during peacetime, but it makes our industrial capacity less efficient when we're producing things, to mixed industry, which just offers a flat reduction in consumer goods during both peacetime and wartime. It increases the amount of supplies we can get to the front line, and it increases the amount of supplies that we actually get when we're producing things. We do need to be at war and have high unity to enact this. Or we can have just kind of middling unity and be run by a fascist party. So if these paternal autocrats actually do take over the government, we'd be able to stick with this, regardless of whether or not we were at war. We can't get down to heavy industry emphasis unless we are really outnumbered in terms of RIC against our enemies, like 200% outnumbered. Then we can completely shift into a full-time war footing. But we're just going to enact the mixed industry policy right now. And you can see our consumer good need has plummeted. Our citizens are willing to accept less toasters and refrigerators because we're currently in the middle of a war, which is relatively nice. It means that we can produce almost all of our currently queued up divisions while we're at war, whereas we couldn't while we were at peace. So that will be nice for the short time that we will actually be at war. I'm not going to have this guy move up because he's currently being challenged by the guards brigade over here. So we're just going to move our men into position. Which one of these is the actual victory province? This one right here. So let's move both of these guys in here, and we'll have one of them queued up to move into that province, and the other one queued up to move into this. This province has forts in it, so taking and holding it will be very beneficial to us. This guy might get attacked from two sides. I think that'll be okay. He should be able to survive there, and if not, he can just pull back here. We're really not worried about protecting our entire front line. They won't be able to get enough, rush down enough victory points to force us to surrender, but all of their victory points are along the outskirts of their country, so we should be able to get enough victory points to force them to surrender. All we need to make their surrender progress go up is to have more of their important cities occupied than 77.5%. So once again, we might actually need to take their capital, which wouldn't be that big of a deal. We just have these guys push up and these guys push up. That might actually be, I think that'll actually be these guys' job to take the capital. These guys might be a little bit stretched then, but that'll work. Whatever works. So this guy's job will be to present a united front down in this direction. To that end, we're going to move that guy all the way up there. We're going to have these guys engage this militia regiment that's fortified there. They shouldn't have too much of a problem. And after that, actually, we'll stick in this province because it's a fortified province. These guys will move up here, and you will move right there. Should be nice and relatively easy. What are we wasting our resources on? Our industrial capacity? We're not wasting anything. This must be just an old tooltip. Wasting 11 on production. We are not. Whatever. Maybe we will as of tomorrow. Alright, tooltip, whatever you say. These guys are completely they're completely free to do whatever it is they want. I was expecting a little bit of resistance down here. We're just going to have our infantry march in, start putting the pressure on a little bit. These infantry, I'm going to give orders without knowing what the actual situation is. I just want them to be moving as quickly as possible. And then you'll go down here. And then these guys, I'm just going to have them all move to in the same direction, through the same provinces, to force their way through, basically. So there's no real threats to this push right now. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. If we do run into some threats, we can just change around what their movement orders are. Your guys' job is to take Niz. So we're going to leave you here, because we might need to counter movements up there. They actually have a decent amount of troops just stacked on that one border right there. So we're going to move up here, deny them access to this airfield. Now, we didn't move our planes into position beforehand because I'm hoping to take all of their airfields out, so we shouldn't need to use our interceptors in any way. But just in case we do, I'm going to move them into position. Now, when you do redeploy your interceptors, they lose half of their organization. So we won't be able to really use these guys for a significant amount of time, until at least they regain more of their organization. They really won't be useful to us at all. We don't need to worry about Navy at all, so I think that's it. We slowed down time rather significantly. These guys should have engaged in the battle. Let's turn on the land combat over here. Alright, so this is the battle screen. You can see the assault that we're doing is one of those things that we had to research in our tactics screen over there. And it looks like they are actually coming to bomb us, so we will need to get some anti-aircraft up and running. So we used the assault tactic, which gives us a damage bonus of 25%. But it's countered by counterattack, and guess what? This guy actually did a counterattack, so they get a defender damage bonus of 25%. Most of this is because he has a skill of 3, and we've only put 0 skill generals in charge. But we will be gaining experience much quicker than they will. You'll see already we've only engaged in 1, maybe even 2 hours of combat so far. He's gained 2.3 experience. We've gained 8 experience in total. So as of right now, this attack, we're slated to win, but that's because we have 2 infantry divisions against his 1 militia division. You can see we have decent strength and decent organization, and his strength started at, it looks like, at about 60%, and his organization is nowhere near what our organization is. But he is defending with a modifier of 128%, because he gets a defender bonus, his leader gives them a skill bonus, and his experience bonus and the terrain and all that fun stuff. And our infantry divisions are only attacking at a 38.7% modifier because he's in a fort, so there goes 25%. Our experience is giving us a big help, and the fact that we have artillery support is helping us in the form of combined arms. But we are attacking into forest, so our terrain penalty is negative 25%, and we didn't even look at the weather at all. Now it is November, which means that it's going to be pretty darn cold up in here. The temperature right now is negative 11 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty darn cold in this province. You can see that the ground is frozen, there is no wind, but the temperature is just abysmal. So our troops, out of cover, out in the open, they're going to take a penalty to their attacks. Okay, let's leave one guy here because he does. I couldn't see it because of our plan. Our plan was in the way, but he does actually have a unit here defending his victory province. So we're going to leave an infantry here. No, actually, you don't even border that province. All right, going to move you up over there because we're moving this guy out, and we're just going to leave you here. We should be able to get a decent surround on that province. And let's keep going. Niz will be an easy province to take. And this should be a fight that is well won, even though we will lose some men to their bombings. Speaking of that, we did move interceptors over here. Now they only have half organization, but they're bombing us with a stack of bombers, obviously, and there's really no reason for us to just let them get away with it. So I'm going to have these two interceptors. They're just basic interceptors, they're not upgraded with any fanciness. They're still biplanes, for goodness sake. But we'll have them try to intercept the bombers. And there we go, they did. They were able to. Unfortunately, they vastly outnumber us. We'll see if maybe we need to shift our air over. Yeah, it looks like they're concentrating over in that direction, which is unfortunate because we just deployed our interceptors all over the bloody place. So we'll need to rebase them again, and they won't be useful for a little bit. But we'll get them into position. We should be able to do something, at least prevent them from just bombing our troops without worrying about anything. Once again, once this guy's organization gets down to 0, we will win the fight in this province. Push his militia back, and then our troops will begin to move into the province that he left open. Now our guys are taking some damage. This guy's was at 100% strength, now he's at 98.4, and this one's at 98.7, but his strength is remarkably low as well, so he's only fighting at 55% efficiency on top of his 128% defense modifier. Now we are fighting a winter war, which is almost never a good thing. It's never really good to advance in the middle of winter, but I really felt bad about just sitting on my hands so long. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna push through, and it looks like we do actually have more IC in our production than we need. So how about we start on another infantry corps? So we can we'll build them as reserves, which means they will demobilize when our country demobilizes, and we'll just start them up. Another infantry corps. And we'll start building the Third Army. And because we declared war, everybody around us is mobilizing. We will need more troops to cover all of our front lines, but finishing this war will shorten up our front line a whole bunch. Our interceptors aren't doing too well. You can see that we did a significant amount of damage to a few of them, but they're just so outnumbered. It's not really even a contest. So we need to tell them to stop. So we'll just cancel their orders. We're losing too many airplanes here, and we're not able to support them because our other planes have so few organization because we redeployed them twice. The war's only been going on for 3 days, so I think we'll be just fine. The Battle of Dimitrov is so far the only battle that has any consequence. And our 0 skill Major General, Harold Woolridge, is now a skill level 2. So this guy, who started out at skill level 0, just through this one battle, is now at skill level 2, which means that he is providing all of the men under his command a leader skill of 10%, where that was 0 before. So this man is actually useful to us now. Now, the other infantry division also has a commander. He's not actually leading the Battle of Dimitrov, but he is still getting experience. He's gaining it at a decently rapid rate, not as rapid as Harold Woodridge. Let's see, do you have any... I can't select you right now because you're actually leading combat, so I can't, pluck you out of there. Looks like none of our infantry have completed their movements so far. And yeah, this is what I was afraid of. They are moving into position to attempt to counter our rushes. Really, we're just rushing their victory provinces. That's really all there is to it. So far, these guys are unopposed over here. Let's move that around a little bit. So they are still bombing this province. It's leading to a drop in organization and strength in both of these divisions. It's unfortunate that we can't counter it, but the one interceptor flight that we had countering it is pretty damaged. And now these guys will regain their strength based on how much reinforcement we assign. And they'll regain their morale passively. But in the meantime, we have British fighters. It looks like 5 British fighters. No, we have 2. So they have 3 fighter units patrolling the skies over here, attempting to make sure that we can't bomb them back. It's an intelligent thing to do, but really they aren't doing that much. This battle will be won on the ground, not in the air. Alright, we have taken the first UK province. We have denied them the use of this airbase, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, it was only a level 1 airbase, so it wasn't able to support any significant amount of planes. These two have both of these air bases as targets. So I think that we're just going to continue the advance here. We haven't run into any enemy contact yet. So we're just going to tell all of our men to keep on keeping on. The Battle of Dimitrov is almost won. Their militia is putting up a valiant fight, helped because of the bitter cold and the fact that it's night right now, and that Ira Kale was a more skillful general when the battle commenced. But Harold Woodridge is almost promoted to skill level 3, and these infantry divisions are also they're also gaining experience based on their combat. You can see that that experience number is going up even while the organization number is going down. Apparently there was a minor engagement in Tekovo that I completely missed. It looks like they just decided to retreat. Who did I have moving into Tekovo? The 5th. Oh, okay. And I left these guys here. Right. So we have the 5th Infantry Division, and this is the 2nd Corps, actually. It's weird that the icon doesn't change. Okay, so we have a Corps command in here. These guys just won their Battle of Tekovo. Unfortunately, because it wasn't an actual battle, nobody gained any experience. They just a few minor skirmishes, and then they decided to retreat to a better position. Alright, we have taken the province of Sudzil, which threatens the left flank of Kolobovo. And as soon as this guy is in position and this guy is in position, we'll do a 3-pronged attack. They do have forts, and this is an actual infantry division, so it might be a little bit more challenging than, say this fight over here. They do only have 7 organization left. They're probably just stalling for time until their actual strong infantry can get over there and help defend the position, which is smart. It's a smart move. I don't think that they'll get there in time, though. We're already... we have 95% control of the province. That's what that little tooltip there means. Yeah, they're down to 4 already. Yeah, and there they go. They just retreated. We have won the battle. And now we can invite Communist China to our faction. No. I'm sorry, Communist China. You have cores of ours. We're actually going to want to attack you at some point. So we're going to need to ignore that. It's going to bother us for basically forever until we actually attack Communist China.